Hello everyone, I'm Adithya Uday. I'm the product manager for Extensibility platform topic in SAP Sales and Service Cloud. Today I have with me Gerd and Sumit, and we'll talk about SAP Sales and Service Cloud offline extensibility and data distribution to devices.
Hi everyone, I'm Sumit Chowdhry. I'm the development manager and product owner for the partner development infrastructure team for SAP Sales and Service Cloud.
Hi, I'm Gerd Ritter. I'm working as a chief development architect in the platform development team of the SAP Sales and Service Cloud.
SAP Sales and Service Cloud solution helps you manage day-to-day sales and service interactions effectively by sending and receiving signals between front and back-end office solutions and providing a single view of the customer. SAP Sales and Service Cloud solution includes a responsive UI that enables a consistent experience from a laptop to a tablet or a smartphone with app support for both iOS and Android. We provide consistent and unified user experience regardless if you're working in the office, checking email on your tablet, or scanning real-time customer insights on your laptop. The solution provides a very powerful user experience anytime, anywhere, so sales and service professionals are always prepared for the next prospect meeting or service inquiry. Thus, it is a huge advantage for companies that have teams traveling to designated territories or working on service requests in the field. Mobile app allows you to access and work with SAP Sales and Service Cloud on your mobile device. We support mobile apps for iPhone, Android, and Windows. Mobile Edition leverages responsive UI technology to provide the same experience across different platforms and devices. You can access the main function of the solution anytime, anywhere, and on any device. You enjoy the same feature function level across the platform and devices, including access to device capabilities with minimum configuration and mobile-only effort. We provide a similar functionality and user experience in both online as well as in offline mode. Most of the standard features are available in offline mode. One can enter and look up data exactly as you would in the online mode. Standard validations and determinations work seamlessly in offline. You can also work in the offline mode to add, modify, or delete items. This includes notes, attachments, and surveys as well. All changes made in the offline mode are queued and automatically updated in the system once network connection is established. Let me now hand it over to Gerd, who will talk about offline extensibility and flexibility.
Thank you. So we are now taking over the role of a key user who wants to adapt the solution to the business needs of their users using the offline extensibility and flexibility. So first of all, the key users will have to adapt, for instance, the screens. So they will make some text adaptations. They will swap fields around, section groups, facets. They will add extension fields. They hide fields. They make them mandatory and so on. Also code list restrictions is another example. And the good news is basically almost everything that you're doing online will work out of the box as well in offline. That means if you swapped around fields, if you gave them new names to text, whatever, if you added extension fields or new facets and so on, then when you go to offline, you will have the same look and feel. It will be the same. If you want to, you can make a difference. So for instance, if you say, okay, if my sales reps go to a visit and they are offline, then they must fill out a certain field. Then you can say only in offline and make it mandatory, but you don't have to. So as mentioned again, we are using exactly the same tools that we are using already online. So this is not part of the demo. It is more interesting that we show the second part. That is the business users. The second task of them is that they configure the synchronization of the data from the SAP Sales and Service Cloud to the devices of the users. It means to the iPhone, iPad, tablet, Windows device, or whatever. And this synchronization must be very user specific because Every user has to have the data they actually need on their device, not more. And the good news is that we are offering a really great flexibility for the key user to configure the synchronization, and we will see this in the demo. And the second good news is that we don't introduce now a whole bunch of new tools to do this, but we are reusing the same key user tools that they are already used to, so that you can configure the synchronization. But let's check this in the demo.
We skip in this demo key user adaptations like adding extension fields or changing screens, which are well known. The demo content is more about how the key user can organize the synchronization of business data to devices for offline usage. An intelligent data synchronization is required since you have to sync exactly what is required for business and not more. You cannot sync simply all data since this would lead to too long sync times, but more important due to the device limitations. We support iOS, Linux, Windows, but also even the latest iPhone cannot handle the data volume even of a mid-sized company. Business needs are very different even in one company, and every sales rep or user needs her or his data for offline, depending also on the job profile. So you have to tailor the sync for each user as it is required. This you can do in the Administrator Work Center on the offline settings. To differentiate the sync profile for each user, you can first of all use business role to assign download rules, and you can use user-specific queries like my visits this week or my open quotes. These queries you see here are nothing else what you know already from the object lists. So let's check this on sales quotes. So go here and select sales quotes. So here you can see the same queries that you can use in the offline settings. Here you can also create as a key user new queries using all the flexibility of the known key user tools. For example, here we prepared already an example of a non-SAP query that has been created by the key user based on the my open quotes, but there is an additional restriction on the distribution channel, which is direct sales. So this will return only open quotes which have this distribution channel. And the key user saved this query, giving a meaningful name, which is now my open quotes direct sales. You can also add extension fields to the advanced search and use them for the query. For example, this here is an extension field, and you could also set here selection values and then store this as a key user query. Now let's check how you can use then those new queries in the offline settings. Now let's take as an example that my open quotes is too much to be synced because the sales rep, they only need the open quotes for direct sales. So what we will do is we will first remove this line and then add a new line. We don't want this download rule for service technicians or other roles. We only want this for sales reps. So we restrict by the business role. Then we select sales quotes. And here we see again the same queries we have seen in the object list. You see all those. Plus here is a new one, which is favorites. That means if you select this one, then you would sync all the quotes that the user marked as favorites. But let's stick to our example. We choose now my open quotes direct sales. We add this. And now only the open quotes which have distribution channel direct sales are synced. Okay, now you have the sales quotes and the visits for our sales reps. But what about depending data like product or accounts? So choosing active products might work if you have a few products. But if there are, for example, 50,000 products or more than 1 million accounts in your system, that will not work. Limit will cut off. But you only want to have the account data and the products of your visits and also of the quotes you're downloading. So how does this work? This is here in related data download. Here you have 3 options as a default, and we strongly recommend to use this one. only first level. This will sync the accounts and products of the quotes and visits, but for example, not the employees of the accounts. So the chain is cut after the first level. If you want to have exception, that means that you follow the chain even after the second or third level for some relations, then you can maintain those exceptions here in the table below. Some exceptions are already pre-delivered by SAP. For example, it makes no sense to download for offline usage a visit, but not download the survey of the visit. So that's what is meant here. Whenever a visit is downloaded that has a survey, then the survey is downloaded as well. Now let's come back to our visit scenario. Here comes a regular pattern that we have seen for multiple customers. A sales rep has visits planned for some customers in the next time. Here we see next week. And when they visit the customers, they need a 360 view on this customer or account. And that includes all sales orders of the account. The accounts are changing each week. And downloading all sales orders of any account is no option. That would be too much data. So how to handle this case? You simply select this line, scroll down, and add here as a related query sales orders all. So this does not mean now that again we would execute or try to download all sales orders, because that will not work. You would hit the limit. But this means for all the visits here of this week, the accounts are determined, and these accounts are then used as an additional filter when this query is executed. So this way you get, of all the accounts you will visit next week, all the sales orders. Further possibilities for the key users are here to configure the automatic download of attachments like product images, or to monitor uploads and download of users, number of instances, status, and so on. Finally, even the end user, not only the key user, can influence the download by personalized queries if the key user allows this. So, to summarize, the key user can use the existing well-known key user tools and business roles to tailor the synchronization of business data for offline usage, individually for each user, so you get what you need for your business.
Now let us take a look at offline extensibility and flexibility for partners and customers, where the requirements, let's say, are not that simple. Now there are times when customers and partners require complex customizations or even wish to build their own add-on solutions. To fulfill that, they can make use of the SAP Cloud Applications Studio. It is a very powerful software development kit and environment which lets customers and partners develop, package or assemble, and deploy last-mile extensions. It relies on a managed and trusted architecture with enterprise-grade controls. With the help of the SAP Cloud Applications Studio, partners and customers can create various custom contents, like custom business objects, custom screens, custom data sources, custom forms, custom code lists, custom approvals and notifications, custom services, and so much more. They can even extend SAP-delivered business objects and screens. Using the powerful ABSL language, they can even write complex business logic via events and custom actions. The SDK, or SAP Cloud Applications Studio, also provides extensive lifecycle management capabilities to manage the lifecycle of the contents and the overall add-on solution as well. Now, if we take a look at the diagram, many of these custom contents, the ones with purple borders, can be enabled to work in offline as well. The process of doing so is simple and quick, and in no time you can have your online custom solution running in offline mode as well. Now let us take a look at a demo where we build a custom account plan solution which initially runs in online mode only. We will then offline enable this solution to demonstrate how easy and simple it is to do this. And post that, we're going to have our solution seamlessly running in offline mode.
Let us now go through an example of a custom application created from scratch by using SAP Cloud Applications Studio. A new custom application for managing key account plan is required. This feature is not available in SAP Standard. The key account plan would be built for every financial year and will require approval from the manager. This custom application will have below tabs or facets. The general profile, where we capture the business profile of the customer, industry, annual revenue, market cap, etc. The SWOT tab, where we do the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat analysis of the key account plan. The goal and action plan, where we describe the goal and objectives and the action plan required to meet the goals and objectives for the financial year. The penetration, where we'll talk about the product penetration, wallet share for all products and services. Account team, where we will have the details of all the account personnels involved for this key account plan. The approvals, where we'll do tracking of approval from the manager. The attachments, to attach files related to the account plan. We will have some validations and determinations as well, where we can check if the account is a key account before we create the key account plan. We don't want this to be created for every account. We wanted this to be created only for key account. And this key account flag is a custom field in the account screen. So we will have these sort of validations and determinations as well in our custom application. Last but not least, we need this custom application to be placed or embedded in the standard account screen as well. So we will detail out these requirements to our partner, and now we will hand over this to our partner who will develop this custom application.
Now that the requirements are set, let's take a look at where and how we can build this custom account plan solution. Here we see the SAP Cloud Applications Studio, a very powerful tool that lets you create custom solutions and then seamlessly integrate them into your application. For our account plan use case, I already have a solution set up, and I will walk you through the key components required to be built to achieve our solution. The first thing that we're going to need is an account plan business object, which is going to help us model our account plan and also capture our account plan information. Our account plan business object has elements of fields on the root node basically to capture header level information. As we can see, we have subnodes to capture information about goals, action plans, penetrations, and SWOT analysis, and so on and so forth. Also, we have certain dependent objects like attachment and text collection to basically enable attachment capture as well as text capture and note capture in our account plan. And if we scroll up, we can also see that we have certain custom messages which can be raised, which are going to be used in certain validation that we will see soon. And we also see that our account plan business object is change history enabled. That means it can be also used to track data changes. Most custom applications require custom code lists, and this account plan solution is no exception. In this solution as well, we have set up certain custom code lists for industry, industry sector, and goal type. And these custom code lists have their custom code list values and descriptions, and these can also be changed in fine tuning. Once these code lists are set up, they can be used as data types for elements in our account plan BO. We can write our business logic in events like after modify or before save on each node. So here we see we have some events set up for our action plan node, goals node, and penetration node as well. We can also write our business logic as validations. So here we see an example of a validation written on the root node of our account plan BO, which basically checks if the account type of the account which is being used in this account plan or being referenced is a key account or not. And to do this, we're actually checking a key user extension field called type of account, which has been created by the key user in the application, but through the .ref file, this can actually be accessed in our SAP Cloud Application Studio custom solution as well. So here we see by a simple click, we're able to access this field inside our custom AppSell logic and perform certain determinations or validation on them. So if this type of account is not a key account, we actually throw a custom error message here. We can also create our own custom libraries and custom functions, which can assist us in writing reusable business logic. So here we see we have a custom function defined, which basically classifies an account by market cap. And we have a simple logic to determine if based on the market cap, it's a large cap, small cap, or a mid-size account. Last but not the least, what we need are screens or UIs, and we can then simply right click on the account plan BO and use the create screens options to basically generate all the screens and UIs that we would need for our account plan solution. Once the UIs are generated, we can open them up in the UI designer tool where we can further customize and enhance them. So here we see our account plan TI or our detail page, and we can actually enhance and customize our facets and other fields and properties as well here. Also, we can add our account plan embedded component or our list inside a standard SAP delivered UI component, the account TI, as a custom facet as well. Apart from allowing you to create custom objects, the Cloud Application Studio also lets one extend SAP delivered objects. Like in this case, we've extended the SAP delivered customer business object, created an extension field on one of the standard nodes, and we also have written some business logic on the after modify event of the standard BOS root node.
Our partner has developed this custom key account plan application by using SAP Cloud Applications Studio based on our requirements. When I go to this custom application, I can see an overview page which lists all the key account plans I have created along with some important details. I can open any of them or I can create a new one. So let's try to create a new one. When I click on plus, it will open the new screen where I can enter some details. Here I have filled certain details about the Rockwell account. When I click on save and open, it gives me an error saying that the account plan can be created for key account. Check the account type. This is, as I mentioned earlier, we should be able to create key account plan only for key accounts, and Rockwell is not a key account. So all the validations as well as our custom logic is working as expected. Now let us open some existing key account plan which we have created and we have filled all the details. So the Silver Coin Bottling 2020 plan is the new key account plan that we have created, and the account name is Silver Coin Bottling Company, which is a key account. So we have entered all the details here. As I mentioned, the general profile should capture the general information about the company, the industry, the market cap, etc. We have our SWOT tab, where we list down the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat of this particular key account. We have goals tab where we'll mention all the goals required for achieving this financial target. The same applies for action plan where we will list down the action plans required. The penetration tab where we'll detail out the penetration and the market share of all the products of this account. We have account team which involves um, listing down the details of all the accounts which are involved for this key account plan. We have approvals tab where we can do the tracking of this approval, and we have attachments tab where we can add some attachments. So everything looks perfect, and we can see that how much detailed the custom application is. We have some custom actions as well in this. I can modify this key account, I can publish this key account, and I can find, if I'm fully satisfied with all the details, I can make this published. So this is how easy it is to have a custom application built by using SAP Cloud Applications Studio. But there is one problem here. This application will not work in offline mode. I want this application to work in offline mode because we have sales agents, sales rep who normally go to places where there is poor or no network coverage. So now I think we need to have one more requirement where the entire application should be available in the offline mode, so that even when there is no network coverage, account personals can work on this key account plan. Now let us go back with this requirement to our partner.
Now that our account plan solution is up and running productively in online mode, there's also a requirement now to offline enable this custom solution so that it runs seamlessly in offline mode as well, that is when there is no network. Let us see how easy and simple it is to do this via the SAP Cloud Applications Studio. First things first, to offline enable our account plan custom business object, all we need to do is add two annotations. The offline enabled annotation as well as the administrative data annotation, which includes all subnodes as well. So once this is done and we save and activate our business object, this is going to offline enable all our fields, all our subnodes, associations, and also our custom messages. Next, we do the same thing to our customer extension business object as well. So we simply need to add the offline enabled annotation, save and activate the XBO, and with this, our XBO becomes offline enabled, and our extension field that we have created on the common node is also offline enabled. Our custom code list and code values are automatically offline enabled and are synced to offline. However, if we wish to query for these code list values in our Absol scripting, all we need to do is open up the BCO and select this offline checkbox and reactivate. Since in our case this is not required and we're not going to be querying for these code values in our business logic, we're good to go. Next up, offline enablement of business logic. Now once we've offline enabled our BO, you can simply right click, and then when we say create script files, in the pop-up that appears, we see now we have a new column called offline. So for all the scripts that we want an offline version, we simply need to select this checkbox and press OK. Once done, you will see a new offline version of the selected script enabled. For purpose of demonstration, I'll take the example of the on-save validation on the root node of the account plan BO. All I need to do is double click on the on-save validation, select the code, copy it, open up my offline version of the same script, paste in the code, and then do a save and activate. With this, we have our on-save offline enabled validation ready to go. A couple of points to note here. Here we see that we've been able to use our type of account user extension field in our offline enabled script. This is because user fields are offline enabled by default. We've also been able to raise our custom message, which we offline enabled during offline enablement of the account plan BO. And the third thing, that our offline version of our script doesn't have to be exactly the same as our online version. So partners are free to edit them and also change the logic around a bit as per the requirements. If you remember, we also had a custom library and a custom reuse function in our solution. So let us now see how we can really quickly offline enable these as well. To do so, we simply open up the library and we find the function that we want to offline enable, and we select the checkbox which says offline enable. Post that, we save, activate, and our function, our custom function, has been offline enabled. The last thing remaining is offline enabling our UIs. Let's see how easy it is to do that as well. To offline enable, we simply open up our UIs from the SAP Cloud Applications Studio, which brings up the UI designer tool. Here we see this is our account plan TI. We simply need to go and into edit mode, and then we save and activate the UI. This UI is built on top of the account plan business object, and this business object is what we have already offline enabled. So simply reactivating the UI creates all the necessary offline bindings. We can confirm this by going into the data model facet, clicking on that, and then clicking on any field here. So if you click on the account ID field, we see that the OCM binding under the offline section is actually been generated automatically upon reactivation of the UI flow plan. Same for account name as well. So once we've offline enabled our BO, we simply open up all our UIs, edit, reactivate them, and we're good to go. And with this, we see how easy it was to offline enable our custom account plan solution.
Wow, that was quick. My partner just informed me that the entire solution is now enabled for offline usage. This is really quick. Now I will do the same settings as explained in the previous video, where we will configure the offline settings and then we will sync the system for the first time, and then we can test the offline simulation. So I have done all those things. Now let me just quickly test it by clicking on menu, go offline. As you can see, an orange bar comes at the top which indicates that we are in an offline simulated environment. As you can see, all the data is already available in offline mode. I get the overview list which shows all the key account plans that we have created. I can open any of the key account plans. So I have opened the existing silver coin bottling 2020 plan, and you can see here that all the data is available here. I can modify any data and can click on save. So once the network coverage is established, these will be synced back. This is pretty good. This is exactly what we wanted. We wanted the sales rep to take this everywhere, even if there is no network coverage, and they can work on it, they can modify some values, and once the network coverage is established, it will sync the records back. Let's now test the new key account plan creation as well. This also can be done in offline mode. So I will just click on plus, and now I will create the new key account plan. So I've entered some key details of this new key account plan. So I'm trying to create Rockwell plan, and then I will click on save and open to see if I can do it. And when I do that, if you see, you get an error message saying that the account plan can be created only for a key account. So this means all the validations and determination logics which was available in online is available in offline mode as well. So I don't need to worry about the data consistency issue, because all the logics run in the offline runtime as well. So this is how easy it is to create a custom application which is available both in online mode and offline mode, and we can have all the intelligent logic also in place which will be executed in the offline mode as well.
I hope you really enjoyed that demo and saw how easy it was to turn a custom solution and offline enable it and make it run in offline so seamlessly and so quickly. Now, for more information and related SAP TechEd sessions, feel free to check out CX100, which is Extensibility in SAP Service Cloud for use in utility companies. And also feel free to check out the public SAP websites listed below for any further information required. You can continue your learning experience from SAP TechEd in 2020 by taking a look at the Learning Hub. So activate your free license or free access to SAP Learning Hub Event Edition, or simply go and subscribe to the SAP Learning Hub Solution Edition to increase your knowledge and gain more skills. Thank you for attending this session. I hope everyone really enjoyed it and it was interesting. For any further topic inquiries, please feel to reach out to Adithya, Gerd, or me. Thank you.
you